there's a girl. Her name's Mary. She has a kitchen and she tests things in it. So I'll come and climb up so high, reaching for a bite, yeah, because forbidden fruit is the sweetest kind. Have you ever heard of a black card? No, not an American Express, which mine is blue. And my business one is green. But anyhow, apparently I lost mine when I became vegan. So I'm hoping that I can redeem myself with this vegan fried chicken recipe. So on the last episode of Cook Bong and Chill, we hung out with Mississippi Vegan. We made his mac and cheese. It was fantastic. I didn't salt my pasta water enough. Just if you watch that, that's why I felt like it needed salt. I was like at the end of my canister and I used what I had. If I would have salted my pasta water a little bit more, it would have been perfect. So I polled you on Instagram and I said, what is the best vegan recipe that you want to see me remake? Because so many vegans in their titles put the best this, the best lasagna, the best fried chicken, the best brownies, the best chocolate chip cookies. And we have to test these things to see if they're truly the best. And one of the most requested was Mary's Test Kitchen. There's a girl. Her name's Mary. She has a kitchen and she tests things in it. And her fried chicken was one of the most requested things. There were some runner-ups. And if you have others that you want to suggest, make sure you follow me on Instagram so that you'll be a part of the upcoming polls. This seems like a super simple recipe, as always, and by always I mean we've done this twice. I'm not gonna give you the full recipe. I'm gonna link Mary's blog down below and her video because it's her recipe. She wants the credit, she needs the credit. She created this. I just wanna test it out, see if the recipe's easy, if it's affordable, all of those good things, if the flavors are good, all of that stuff. Of course, this is all my preference and my taste buds. Yours may be different, but I think that this is going to be amazing, honestly. So I have 2 blocks of tofu that I froze, unfroze, froze again, then defrosted again. So you have to do it twice. So it does take a bit of preparation. So this isn't something that you can pick up tofu and then make for dinner tomorrow. You do have to kind of plan for it since you have to put these into the freezer twice. So I'm using a firm tofu. My firmness is a 4 out of 6. It's not silken, so I'm hoping that that's firm enough. Just going into it, my only worry is that the tofu is gonna fall apart because I noticed in her video it was very like supple little tofu. And I'm not the most graceful in the kitchen. I kind of just like slop things around. So I'm hoping that these don't fall apart, but let's go ahead and get started and drain the tofu and get it soaking in the chicken broth because I think that's probably what we should do first. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this over a bowl so that it's easier for you all to see. And I'm just gonna slice and let some of the water out of here. Mary gave a few different techniques in the video on how to press your tofu. Now, if you're someone who hasn't done a lot with tofu, I'm gonna link a podcast down below. It's the first podcast that I heard of freezing tofu, and it gives so many different techniques on how to make tofu delicious and simply in your kitchen because it is a vegan, vegetarian, or even if you're just trying out plant-based living staple. So it's by Colleen Patrick Goudreau. I listened to it when I very first went vegan and it was super helpful. So you can see the tofu looks a lot different once you freeze it and defrost it. It gets such a different texture. Like if you're used to seeing tofu, you know this is not what it looks like. So Mary said to press this. I don't have a tofu press. I'm usually just not that bothered with pressing my tofu. Or she said use 2 cutting boards. I only have 1 cutting board. So I'm just gonna use the back of 2 plates and press it that way. So any 2 flat surfaces that you have really will work well. And then use a paper towel or a cloth dish towel to absorb the excess. So squeezing out the water. And you can do this for so many recipes if you want to make like sesame flavored tofu or something. The more water you squeeze out, the more room it leaves for you to basically re-inject flavor into it. So I'm gonna put this onto a dish towel to get out the excess. It's pretty darn dry now, and go ahead and squeeze out my second block. We need 24 ounces of tofu, so it's about a block and a half, and this is 16 ounces. This clean dishcloth, gonna wrap it around there, just give it another squeeze to make sure all of the water is out of it. You want it really, really dry. Okay. And now let's do the second one. I feel like Rachel Ray. You know how she used to have the garbage bowl? I feel like this is the garbage bowl. There's an Asian market near me here in Austin, and they sell bulk tofu. So I'm thinking about buying my tofu bulk because I waste a lot of plastic. You guys know I'm nowhere close to zero waste. That's not even really a goal of mine, but I just want to be able to do a little bit more. I mean, every little change, look how much water's in this one. Every little change that you make, this is a good arm workout, is worth it, you know? Don't let people tell you you're not doing enough, you know? Do as much as you can. What fits into your lifestyle, that's what I'm doing. It doesn't take me much more effort to run to the Asian market to get bulk tofu. So that's something that I can see working into my routine. So I'm gonna go ahead and dry this one in the towel as well. And then I'm gonna start to break it apart like Mary did. Ooh, this one still has a lot of water in it. Look at that. Okay. So this one's like a lot more deflated than that other one. I'm excited to start flaking this. I'm gonna just double check that this one's dry because that other one still had some water in it. I'm squeezing pretty hard on this. So if you guys have problems with tofu just being too chewy for you in general, freezing it and cooking it like this, even just in a stir fry with sauce, makes the texture a lot different and a lot better. So now we're gonna start to kind of lightly pull this apart and just kind of let it naturally break into pieces. So that's one. She said there would be about 8 pieces per block, I believe. There's 2. This is far too big. So let's tear that into a couple of pieces. 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we need half of this other block, so I'll just use the other half for a stir fry or something and set that aside, and then break this guy up too. So since it's half a block, I'm assuming I'll get about 4 pieces out of this. That's what it looks like on the inside. And then I'm gonna break this one kind of diagonal. All right, so now into the chicken broth they go. And this is how they get the chickeny flavor. So I probably wouldn't skip this step. And you just kind of poke it down. And as you can see, hopefully, it's soaked up almost all of the liquid already. It just soaks right into the tofu. So just give it a push down and let it soak up that liquid. And I'm gonna set this aside and get my flour and such ready. Just wanna make sure everything's getting soaked up in here. And honestly, it's a little bit sturdier than I expected it to be. We'll see if that continues after it soaks for a bit longer, but I'm optimistic. This is a pretty affordable recipe, considering you probably have most of these things already sitting around your house. So I'm gonna use the vegan egg, and basically we're doing it to the instructions to start with, but then we thin it out some more so that it's easy for battering. So I think we use about 2 tablespoons at first. So I guess that recently, now the vegan egg is soy-free. It wasn't before. Not that that matters for this recipe since we're using tofu, but for people that weren't able to do the vegan egg before because it was soy, it's not soy-based anymore. I'm gonna try not to gag during this because I hate the smell of the vegan egg. I think it's so offensive. Oh shit, it stinks so bad. But the thing is, I can't see like egg replacer or something working for this recipe. It makes my stomach hurt so bad. It's like sulfur to the max. It's so nasty. But this stuff is good for baking and battering and things like that. So I'm gonna add about half a cup of water, 4 ounces. And it has to be really cold water, and then just whisk. We've got our stinky ass egg. We have some gluten-free flour. I just added some nutritional yeast to it. I'm gonna add a little bit of onion powder. There are measurements on the website. I'm just kind of doing it to the taste that I like. And then some garlic. I'm gonna add a little bit of smoked paprika just because I like smoked paprika. Some black pepper. Forgot I needed salt. Mary said use salt. So we're gonna use salt. And we're gonna fry. How cool is that? Mix this up. This is gonna get more interesting as we go, I promise. All right. I've got my dredging station ready. I have my tofu. So something that stood out is it doesn't say to squeeze any of the chicken stock out of the tofu. And I think that that's purposefully because we want it to stay juicy. So I'm just putting these on a plate and then doing my do here. Some of this Nature's Path puffed rice, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put it into my bowl. It says to add about a cup and then to crunch like half of it. These are like organic-y annoying ones, so they don't crush quite as well as some of the other ones may crush, so just be aware of that. I think the Eco Kids has maybe a rice puff that's vegan too, and a few others, but I would not recommend these ones because they don't crunch up very well. All right, so now that we've added our puffs into here and crushed as many as we can, we're gonna go ahead and do the rest of the dredging. So it's gonna go back into the egg and then into this puffed rice and flour mixture here. All right, I'm like on the fence if I should like use an immersion blender just to crush up some of these more, but it doesn't say to do that in the recipe, so I'm not gonna do it. So just into the egg wash. Okay, I feel like this is where the be careful part comes in, and then into your flour mixture. All right, 1 down, about 12 to go. Oh no, I mixed my dredging and my dry hand up. I hate when I do that. Now I'm gonna have dredged fingers. So Got that. And then dry. I'm gonna finish breading these up. Then I'll be back when I'm all finished and I wash my Franken fingers. I don't know if I'm being too heavy with the breading. I'm just trying not to break the tofu, honestly, but I'm running out of dry ingredients. So that might be a problem. I feel like I'm not gonna have enough to get through the rest, that's for sure. Trying to stretch it as much as I can. But I think I'm gonna have to add some more. This is the last one I can do with this amount of dry ingredients, which isn't a big deal. It's just, I don't know if my measurements were a little short, maybe, I don't know. But just a FYI, you might run out of dry ingredients. I'm gonna mix up a little bit more so that I can get them in the oil. I decided I didn't really want to bother with making more dry ingredients. I only have these 2 little pieces left, so I'll just make that at some other time with this other leftover tofu I have. It's only been in the flour, so it'll be fine, like pan sauteed. So I'm gonna skip that and then just go ahead and get these guys into the oil. Yay. And pop a few pieces in here. Careful not to overcrowd the pan. So I'm just basically cleaning up my mess. And by cleaning, I mean popping everything into the dishwasher, honestly. Still looks good. It needs to go a little bit longer. I just like to get my dishes into the dishwasher so that I don't have a huge mess by the time I'm done. And honestly, I guess it's better if a recipe's like just a tad bit short than if it's too much, because then you'll have, you know, wasted flour and stuff. And it's not really something you can reuse, not at least this type, because of the vegan egg and everything in it. It's just a little bit too gummy. So I'm going to throw out these and then wipe down my counter. Those are still looking good. And then I should be done. And put that extra tofu into a container so that I can have it tomorrow or whenever for lunch. My extra tofu. Put that in the fridge. And then put away all of the ingredients, and then they should be ready to flip by the time I'm done doing this stuff. Alright. So I got my vegan egg. All my seasonings, I'll put those away. Sorry guys, you're sitting on top of some seasoning. And gluten-free flour and rice stuff. Put all the stuff away.
Let it run down my lips. I wanna lick the flavor of you off my fingertips. Can't get my mind up off it. I wanted you the minute that I heard that you were off limits. 'Cause I want what's mine, but I want what isn't even more. And the fact that you're, in someone else's garden makes me want you that much more.
I'm so excited right now. This looks fantastic, amazing. We've lucked out the first 2 episodes of this new series, guys. We really have. And again, the point of this series is not to copy anyone's recipe, because I'm not giving it to you. I'm sending you to them. It's really, oh, it's raining. To spread awareness and to maybe get you guys testing more recipes if you've gotten kind of stagnant in your veganism, to find new people to follow that make amazing recipes. I'm going to be doing big channels, small channels, all kinds of channels, and honestly, it's just to drive traffic to other vegan channels and for you guys to like re-spark your creativity in the kitchen. My co-op actually makes their chicken like this, but not as fantastic. You guys have seen me go to the co-op and get those buffalo chicken, and they do the same thing. They freeze it once. Freezing it twice is a game changer, Mary. And then they soak it in not the chicken stock, so same kind of technique. And then they just dredge it in flour. So they don't do the egg and the flour, they just do the flour, then they fry it, and then they toss it in buffalo sauce. So once you know this technique, which go to Mary's blog, read everything so that you don't mess anything up. I know I didn't give you guys all of the steps. So go there, educate yourself on this technique, and then you can use it in so many different ways. And how beautiful is this? How beautiful. I'm not even gonna get, I haven't tasted it at all, but my mouth is watering. So I have some barbecue sauce, I have some buffalo sauce, and I have some vegan ranch, which is my recipe. So if you go to Melanie Anarchist Kitchen website, she links my vegan ranch video all of the time. I have no clue what video it's in. I don't know. I'm gonna message Melanie and ask her what video it's in, but it's basically, I make like a buttermilk ranch and it's really good. So I'm gonna taste it by itself first. Whoa. That crunch is out of this world. Mmm. This is insane. I see why she leaves the liquid. Let me see if I can show you this. Do you see the juiciness? And that's not oil, that's the broth. She does say you can do it without the broth if you want. You'll just get more of like a flaky texture, which could be delicious as well. If making this again, one, I would fry as I go. When I was getting towards the end, the pieces that were still on the plate to fry had soaked up a lot of the moisture, which doesn't affect it, as you can see, but it makes the oil splatter more because the oil's getting more of the moisture, so it just splatters a lot more. I would probably dredge a few, fry them, dredge a few more, flip, and then dredge a few more. Then it's time to take those out and put in the next batch. Kind of work as you go is what I would do. The brown rice things do add like a fun pop. I used to have a coworker, no, a cousin, two different things, sorry. I had a cousin that used to dredge her fried chicken in cornflakes. Like the end of the cornflake bag, she'd crunch up and mix it in with her flour. So kind of similar concept. And then my old job, on Thanksgiving, they always had a big Thanksgiving brunch. For the kids, they would make Captain Crunch turkey tenders. So they'd batter the turkey tenders in Captain Crunch. I think that I made my chicken much larger than Mary. I can't really tell, but from the blog, it looks like I made mine bigger. Mine look like little drumsticks, and some of them look like little chicken thighs. So you could make these smaller into nuggets. I think hers were a bit smaller. And maybe that's why I ran out of the dry mixture. I don't know. But oh my gosh, this is like unreal. It's amazing. It doesn't taste like chicken. Obviously, it's vegan. Because vegan chicken broth doesn't taste like chicken. It tastes like chicken flavor. So this has the same taste, but that's not bad at all. I'm used to that and I love it. I had those, I didn't even have to buy those because I always have those bouillon cubes around my house. I love them. I use them for gravies. I use them for so many things. So that's not a dig at all. That's just how it is. It's chicken flavor. Buffalo sauce and ranch together on this chicken. Freaking tastic. You like my cooking outfit? I feel like I need an apron because I always end up so freaking dirty. Look at this chicken. Oh my gosh. Isn't that amazing? Oh man, this is so good. I might take some of this up to my mom. Next time, I will probably use like 3/4 a cup of broth. Because, also always take this with a grain of salt because I halfway read things. There was some left over and I feel like this is a little wet. Like I would prefer it just a tad bit drier. It's super juicy, but just a tad bit drier. Like I should have pressed a little bit of the broth out, but I don't know if that, oh, I guess it shouldn't affect how it dredges if she says you can do it without the broth altogether. I was really just licking my, and she says if yours falls apart and you get all these little crispy bits, you just kind of squish them together and you get like a popcorn one. This is so cute. It's so cute. I love it. Can you imagine showing up to a picnic with your vegan fried chicken, some potato salad, some baked beans on Labor Day, even though you guys are seeing this after Labor Day. Today's Labor Day and it's raining. Showing up with your vegan fried chicken, being all posh and stuff. I can imagine it. Or just having it with mashed potatoes, mashed cauliflower, some sauteed spinach. I would say broccoli because it's my favorite thing, but now it makes my stomach hurt, so I can't eat it. This amount serves 4, which definitely, yeah. I've had what, I don't know, 3 pieces maybe? I'm getting full. It just looks so beautiful. If you're wondering what's going through my head right now, that's the boy. If you're wondering what's going through my head, it's that I'm really surprised this memory card's not full yet. Because that has a whole lot of footage on it. Not just from today, from like many a days past. And I'm just waiting for it to be like counting down. You are out of memory. Oh my gosh, one true pairing right here. Buffalo and ranch. He's telling me I need to take pictures of him when I come. Jeez. Okay, I'm gonna have one more piece. Look at this little guy. Look at him. It'll focus eventually. Isn't that just amazing? You'd never look at that and go, tofu. I know it's tofu. make sure you check out Mary's vlog. It'll be down below. So is her YouTube channel. Tell her I say hello if you go over. Tag me if you cook it. Tag Mary if you cook it. If you want to oven fry it, go to Mary's blog. It has directions on how to oven fry it. That's not my life. I don't know how long ago she made the blog post or video. I watched both, but I didn't look at when they were made. But you may be able to air fryer it. I don't know. My dad has my air fryer now. He really loved it, so I let him keep it. I feel like any sauce goes good with ranch. Buffalo and ranch, barbecue and ranch. Okay. Whew. I'm full, girls and boys and boys and girls, girls and boys and boys and girls, and everything in between. We love everybody here. So I have my leftover chicken. I'm really sad though because I feel like it's just gonna be soggy tomorrow, and I'm going up to see the boy, so maybe I'll take it with me. Ooh, make this, go to the store, get biscuits, and then get some vegan honey, get some butter, melt your butter a little teensy bit just until it's soft, add your honey, whisk it together, make your biscuits, put this on there, and have like honey butter chicken biscuits. Doesn't that sound delicious? That sounds fantastic to me. I bet that would be so good. So these are always options if you're a single girl like me. I'm not single, but I live single, you know. Food wise, I shop like a single person because I only live here. So you have to think of things to do with the leftovers. I'm sure in the oven they crisp back up. Obviously if you microwave these, they're not going to stay crispy, but I think if you probably put in oven, you could get it crispy again the next day. But yeah, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoy. Oh gosh. Links for everything in the description down below. If you're new, please subscribe. In this week's shout out of the week, I just decided to do this yesterday. So this week's shout out of the week, she doesn't even know it's coming, is Sam Page X. Thank you for sharing me on Instagram. If you would like to be shouted out as well, all you have to do is share one of my posts or you watching my video or something like that on your Insta story. I'll pick randomly every time that I remember. I'll try to do it every week. And yeah, thank you so much, Sam, for watching. And until next time, I want to remind you to keep an open mind, keep an open heart, practice unconditional compassion, but don't take shit from anyone. I love you guys endlessly, and I hope you love yourselves even more. I'll talk to you really soon. Bye.